It's me, it's Queen Aset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. All right, guys, first and foremost, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to somebody else who might like it as well. I want to tell you that on Sunday, this Sunday coming up, at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, we are having our sixth live discussion. And we're going to be talking about the book Being Me, Loving You by Marshall Rosenberg. Let me get my fingers out the way so you guys can see that. Being Me, Loving You by Marshall Rosenberg. And we're going to talk about pages 23 to 30. Those are the pages that I'm going to read. There's one that's really long and there's two small segments. So we're going to read those 7 pages. Also, for those of you who aren't aware, I am a brony. A brony is somebody who is into My Little Pony, the cartoon and the series. My daughter and I are both into it, something she got me into actually. My Little Pony started in my generation and it still continues today. Every so often they revamp the generation. So they are having a My Little Pony convention in Baltimore. This is called BronyCon. And BronyCon is the biggest convention. And we've wanted to go for a long time. We've been to PhillyCon, which was amazing. And we always wanted to go to BronyCon. But never had the time or the money or something was always off. And we found out that this may be the last BronyCon. So I said to my daughter, we gotta go. We gotta get there, you know? It's the last one. It's like not going to Woodstock. We have to see it. This is the biggest one, the best one, the one that all of the bronies talk about. Everybody who's been talks about how great and how fun it is and how the cosplay is just so amazing. So we're going. We're going. So Ask an Aquarius is going to be on vacation again. I don't usually take vacations this close to each other, but I didn't have a choice because the date was set. So July 31st to August 5th, I will not be recording. I'll be uploading some still shots probably from the convention, but I won't be recording. So I'll come back on August 6th with the continuation of this season of Ask an Aquarius. Okay? So remember that July 31st to August 5th, there are not going to be any new videos. So it'll give you a chance to catch up on some of the old ones or just laugh at my pictures from the convention if you want to. Okay? All right, let's talk about today's topic. Now, somebody asked me, Queen, what is the most perfect zodiac partners for Aquarius? And I was like, here we go. Now, remember, I always tell you guys that you cannot judge a person based on their sun sign. You really need their entire chart. If you're going to try to decide if you're going to be in a relationship with them or a business partnership or anything like that, you really need to look at their entire chart and see if it's compatible with your chart. But the person said, Queen, what if I don't have their whole chart? And I just want to know, is it possible? Based on their sun sign, is it possible? How can it possibly go? And I'm like, okay, if you don't have a computer and their whole chart in front of you, there are some things you can figure out. First of all, when it comes to a perfect partner for Aquarius, and I'm going to tell you this not based on, my opinion, but I'm going to tell you based on what astrology tells us. Like what do the ancients tell us. And basically, if you look at the elders, if you look at those who've done astrology way, way, way before us, because astrology is old as the hills, they'll tell you that you match things by the elements. So the best signs for you are the elements that match your sign the best. So, for example, if you're an Aquarius, you are an air sign. So the best signs that match your element are air and fire. Okay? So it's pretty simple. You just figure out which elements go best with your elements. If you are let's say you're a Cancer, what goes best with your elements? First would be water, second would be earth. And you can think about it because water puts out fire. So it's probably not a good match, you know? So if you're a Cancer, you want to look at water first because that is your element. And secondly, earth is the next one. If you're a fire sign is going to be your first one. Air sign would be your second one. If you're an earth signs would be the first one, and water signs would be the second ones. Now, because I said you need to look at the entire chart, sometimes this is not going to line up right. Like, for example, you might be an Aquarius and you might meet a Capricorn, for example. And that's usually a no-no. But if there's something going on in both charts, they could be compatible. I had an ex once that was a Taurus, and Taurus is an earth sign. And oddly enough, our charts were compatible. And we did get along very well. It's just the fact that she was bipolar and very immature. But if she hadn't been, or if she had been medicated and had been, taking her therapy, and she hadn't been so immature, we probably would have been fine based on zodiac compatibility. But that's not a normal or a usual match, the earth with the air. So, like I said, there are going to be so many exceptions to this rule. But if you're just looking for something quick, this would be it. Now, let me tell you why I like what I like, okay? Because now I'm going to tell you my opinion, not what the astrologers say. So, first of all, I really like Libras. When it comes to air signs, I like Libras first and foremost. But remember, I'm a third decan Aquarius. So I am also co-ruled by Libra's planet of Venus. So I think that somebody asked me, did I think that made a difference? And I really do. Because I noticed that a lot of third decan Aquarius tend to like Libras, even though some other Aquarius do and some other Aquarius don't. So I like Libras. Why do I like Libras? Well, first and foremost, because they're so charming. If you run across a person of any sun sign who has a dark energy or a low vibration, it's not going to be a pleasant experience. This is the truth of Libra or anybody else. But if you run across a light person, a light Libra, they are so charming. I love it. They're so charming. They love beauty. They love to go to nice places. They love to buy nice things. Libras are really cool in that kind of way. If I had to choose a lover based on sun sign only, I would go for the Libra first. Because of the fact that if they are a light person, they're probably going to enjoy conversations and walking and nature and all kinds of things that I like, reading books and talking about them. They like all kinds of things that I like. And I would love to be in a relationship with a positive Libra. That would be so cool. So that's why I would go for them first. Second, would probably be a Gemini. I like Geminis. Geminis are fun. They're two people at the same time. So you're always having a relationship with two different people. But Geminis are fun. They like to read. They like to think. They're air sign once again. So they're into that intellectual stuff that I like. So we would probably go to museums together and probably talk about things and kick ideas by each other and all kinds of stuff. So the intellect with a Gemini would draw me in. And lastly would be an Aquarius, because I've been with an Aquarius before, and Aquarius are obviously just like me. So that means that this person, if they are a lot like me, is going to have all my good traits, but all my bad ones too. And I don't really want to deal with all my bad ones with another person. So I would pick them dead last. The Aquarius I were with, they were so aggressive, and I'm aggressive, and it just, we fought, we argued, we fought, we butt heads. I was young then, so it might not be the same way now, because I'm not as quick to argue with somebody now. I'm quick to just let something go. I'm quick to be like, all right, well, I'm going to talk to you later. Deuces, and just move on. But I was younger then, so it might not be the same way now. But I would still pick them last if all I had to go on was their sun sign. Now, fire signs are our secondary. So, based on fire signs, who would I pick first? Well, first with fire signs, let me think which ones I like the most. I like the Leos the most. Barack Obama is a Leo and I love him. So, I would probably pick a Leo first. They're very charming, they're intelligent, they're interesting, they're showmen, you know. I like a lot about their way. They're funny, you know. They have a great sense of humor. So I would probably pick a Leo first and foremost. Plus, I've had some really great Leo friends. So who better to be in love with than your best friend, you know? So I would probably pick them first if I had to pick a fire sign. Secondly, I'd pick Aries. Because Aries, I like a lot of things about Aries actually. The only thing I don't like about Aries is the fact that they have a tendency to try to bully me, and then we start the fight. That's what started the fight. So that's the only thing about them. And if they weren't like that, if they were not low vibrational in that way and they were, you know, cool, we would probably get along really well, you know, because we're both fun, you know, and sexually speaking, Aquarius and Aries get along really great. So we probably have a great romantic relationship. And lastly would be Sagittarius. Only because of the fact that I have a Sag moon, and I don't know if dating somebody with a Sag moon would, again, somebody so much like me. But Sagittarius have the tendency to be very free and love to travel. So we probably would have some fun. I love traveling. I love going places, as you guys know. So we probably would be cool in that way, you know. Lastly, I'll give you honorable mention. Virgo gets honorable mention because sometimes Aquarius and Virgo get along really great. Sometimes we do. I'm going to do a video about that because I'm researching right now how come so many Aquarius and Virgo couples are often drawn to each other. But it does happen very frequently. Most of my research is uncovering that it's an intellectual bond. A lot of times these two like to talk about things and kick things around and think about things and ideas. Aquarius comes up with ideas. A Virgo makes things happen, you know. So the two of them, if in a good space, if in a good high vibrational space, these two could potentially make it. So I always give them honorable mention because I've seen so many of these couples make it and not make it, but I've seen so many of them drawn to each other. So it's something that's definitely worthy of mention. I respect Virgos. Of course, not all of them, but many of them I have a high respect for because their work ethic is amazing. A Virgo is the best at what they do. Michael Jackson, Beyonce. Say what you will about them as people, but nobody can discount their performances. Their performances are amazing. Cat Williams, at his height, he was the best in the game. If you like that kind of humor, he was the best in the game at that time. And even to this day, I saw him recently and I was cracking up. I mean, he's still funny. So Virgos have a tendency to be so they're so nitpicky and they're so hard on themselves that they have a tendency to do things as close to perfection as possible. So I have a lot of respect for them. So I think that that's probably one of the things that draws the Aquarius and the Virgo. So if you're stuck with only a sun sign, those are some ideas you can kick around about that person. But it would behoove you to do their entire chart because their chart could kill all of what I just said. Literally, it could kill the whole thing. But a lot of times you don't have their chart in front of you. All you know is their sun sign, their birthday, or whatever the case is. So the only thing you can come up with real fast is their sun sign. So I'm giving you this for those times when you're in the pinch. And that's all you have, okay? All right, guys, it's time for me to get going. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And pass it around freely. Pass it around like party favors, okay? Likewise, if you want to get in touch with me, if you want to get a reading, if you want to give me a general question for Asking Aquarius, please look underneath this video. All of my information will be underneath there, including how to send me a gift, how to send me a tip, and how to become one of my patrons on Patreon. All right? See you later.